Finals, he meets Jose Luis Clare, the man who beat him last year. Purcell will need all the help he can get.
There's something about this place. I don't think it's the people really make me play better, but it's like, doesn't matter what court I play on. It's like I play a good match every match. It's just it seems like the magic, and I feel confident within myself that I can play well. And then if I'm down, I just remember I'm in Indianapolis, and everything should turn out well here. So it's just funny. It's just I play well here, and I'll come back here till I don't, quit playing professional tennis.
However, in challenging Clare, Purcell is up against the hottest performer on the circuit. A natural clay player, Clare is riding a 22-match winning streak that has brought him 3 consecutive tournament titles. Mel Purcell's level of play rises to the occasion, but Jose Luis Clare is just too good. Clare eliminates Purcell 6-3, 6-3. The career of John Alexander has fallen upon hard times. At Indianapolis, Alexander had to fight his way through 3 rounds of pre-tournament qualifying play to get into the main draw. His second-round opponent is another popular veteran, Eli Nastase. Nastase is making his first appearance at Indy in 7 years, and the crowd welcomes him back warmly. John Alexander is not quite as hospitable. Alexander topples Nastase 6-3, 6-2 to continue his own comeback. Jose Luis Clare is smack in the middle of John Alexander's comeback trail. After 4 straight victories, Alexander joins the top 3 seeds in the semifinals. Including qualifying play, he's won 7 matches this week. And now, incredibly enough, John Alexander reels off 6 consecutive games to take the first set from Clare 6-3. Jose Luis Clare's 3-tournament win streak is in jeopardy, but the smooth-stroking Argentinian lifts his game to a higher level. Utilizing every stroke in the book, Clare puts a halt to Alexander's upset plans 3-6, 6-3, 6-1. Harold Solomon analyzes Clare's surge toward the top.
I think that the reasons for Clark's charge is he's always been a very good player. He's always hit the ball very well. I think that he's really developed his mental capacity in the past year and really gotten tough mentally. I think he's worked on it. He used to come out and have losses in matches that you wouldn't think that he would have, and now he doesn't have those losses anymore. Now he's got a lot of confidence, and he feels very strong, and he feels like he's going to go out there and win every time, and he sure has been won a lot lately. He's won the last 3 tournaments, and he's still in here, so he could win 4 in a row.
Hot as Jose Luis Clare may be, the top seed at Indianapolis is Ivan Lendl. Illustrating just why he's number 1, Lendl cruises past Rick Fagel, John Benson, Shlomo Glickstein, and Jose Luis Damiani in straight sets. Lendl builds up ahead of steam for what appears to be a head-on collision in the semifinals with Guillermo Vilas. Third-seeded Guillermo Vilas is also ground-stroking his way through the draw in steamroller fashion. He wins his first 3 matches without the loss of a set, and then crushes Ricardo Cano in the quarterfinals 6-3, 6-1. Ivan Lendl versus Guillermo Vilas, a marvelous semifinal matchup on a perfect Saturday night, with yet another big crowd looking on. The 1981 championships will establish a new attendance record for the week as over 71,000 fans turn out for top-notch tennis. Lendl faces a determined Vilas in a hard-hitting first set, but he digs in and relies on his power-packed forehand to gain a vital service break. Ivan Lendl is blazing now. In one service game, he blasts 4 consecutive aces, a first ever for Lendl and a rarity for anyone on a clay court. Ivan Lendl owns the first set 6-3. The second set produces superlative tennis as the 2 rivals hold service throughout until Lendl achieves a break in the 11th game on his 7th attempt at break point. Serving at 6'5", Ivan Lendl is still depending upon his fabulous forehand for winners, and with good reason. Lendl reaches match point. Ivan Lendl defeats Guillermo Vilas 6-3, 7-5 to become a finalist in the 1981 U.S. Open Clay Court Championships. And clay is the surface that Lendl prefers.
For hard court, I have to take 1-2 days to get ready for it, and for clay, I can play immediately. Doesn't matter where I come from. So if I come from grass or from hard courts, I take 10 minutes warm up and I can play.
Well, good afternoon. This is the final of the U.S. Clay Court Championships, the 72nd U.S. Clay Court Championships in the 100th anniversary year of the United States Tennis Association. We have the defending champion, Jose Luis Clare, who will be playing this afternoon the number 1 seed, Ivan Lendl. Let me speak in the first instance about Ivan Lendl. He is ranked number 5 in the world. He's 21 years old. So here he is, Ivan Lendl. Welcome, Ivan. Well, you're all very familiar with our charmer champion, Jose Luis Clare. He is now ranked number 4 in the world. He is from Buenos Aires, Argentina, the defending champion, ladies and gentlemen, and no need to defend his charm because it's always there. Jose Luis Clare.
Like Ivan Lendl, Jose Luis Clare loves to play on clay.
When I come in, especially in clay court, I feeling, strong, and I feeling more happy for sure because that's my court. I think this summer I play really, really good.
The U.S. Open Clay Court Championship final features 2 players who are among the best on clay in the world. Perhaps only Bjorn Borg is in their class. The Indianapolis crowd and a nationwide CBS Sports audience are in for a tennis treat. Clare trade early breakthroughs, but they're back on service as Lendl's overhead winner puts him up 4-3. Fluid ground strokes beautifully hit and placed on these perfect courts during a sunny summer afternoon are a sight to behold. This is what clay court tennis is all about. Clare's stunning forehand passing shot ties the first set at 4 games each. Ivan Lendl holds for a 5-4 lead and then gains a set point on Clare's service at 30-40. Clare smashes back to deuce, but loses the ensuing point, and Lendl has a second chance at set point. Clare's forehand is just long, and Ivan Lendl claims the first set 6-4. The second set parallels the saga of the first. Terrific tennis with both players refusing to be broken. Jose Luis Clare's win streak is on the line, and Ivan Lendl wants to be the man to snap it. Dusty but maintaining his good humor, Jose Luis Clare engages Ivan Lendl in a marathon 5th game, memorable for high-quality action and mounting tension with the set tied at 2 games all. Even Claire can barely believe the angle on Lindell's forehand winner. Undaunted, Claire continually gains the advantage, and he finally converts after struggling through 5 deuces and 5 break points. Yvonne Lindell will long remember this marathon 5th game of the 2nd set as a heartbreaker of the highest order.
3-2.
Claire must now guard against the possibility of Lindell breaking right back. There is no more vulnerable moment for a letdown than the game following a service break. Claire moves out to a 4-2 lead. Following an exchange of service breaks, Jose Luis Claire serves at 5-4. Jose Luis Claire locks up the 2nd set with successive aces, and the match is dead even. On a roll now, Claire threatens Lindell's service in Game 3 of the final set at love 30. Jose Luis Claire moves into the driver's seat with the first break in the decisive 3rd set. Claire's game is now finely tuned, and his own service games are never in doubt. On the other side of the net, Yvonne Lindell is battling to hold on, but Jose Luis Claire is all but pulling rabbits out of hats. Down 5-2, Yvonne Lindell is in need of a dramatic turnaround. Jose Luis Claire needs just one more game. Jose Luis Claire wins the first point, but Yvonne Lindell claws his way back into the game with help from a double fault by Claire. Lindell gets back to deuce with this mishit backhand shot followed by a drop volley. Yvonne Lindell is down to his last chance. Jose Luis Claire is at match point for the first time. Jose Luis Claire captures the U.S. Open Clay Court Championship for the 2nd successive year, wins his 4th straight circuit event, his 25th consecutive match, and as he accepts the $32,000 winner's check from Frank McKinney Jr. of American Fletcher National Bank, Jose Luis Claire has truly come of age in the summer of '81. The USTA presents the 1982 U.S. Open Clay Court Championships in Indianapolis, Indiana. There's a brand new 63,000-seat dome stadium under construction in one of the sports capitals of America, Indianapolis. Sports fever runs high in Indianapolis, and in 1982, the city showcased its marvelous facilities by hosting the National Sports Festival. Indianapolis means the Indy 500 to racing enthusiasts. But Indy also spells tennis to sports fans. Every August, the city welcomes the U.S. Open Clay Court Championships, one of only 7 official international championships in the world. An awesome men's field is the big attraction for the 73rd annual U.S. Clay Courts. Guillermo Vilas of Argentina is the #1 seed, and countryman Jose Luis Clerc, the defending champion, is seeded second. 17-year-old Swedish sensation Mats Wilander is the #3 seed. Australia's Peter McNamara is seeded 4th. Jose Higueras of Spain is the 5th seed, and although the top 5 are the favorites, the rest of the men's field is loaded with surprises. Players from a total of 24 countries are competing at Indianapolis in a dazzling international array. But as the championship week begins, the spotlight falls on 2 American women, Dana Gilbert, the former champion here, and Zina Garrison, the #3 seed. Dana Gilbert shocks 3rd seed Zina Garrison with the first upset of the week. The women's #1 seed, Romania's Virginia Ruzic, is on the ropes in her opening match against South Africa's Susan Rollinson. Virginia loses the first set, then struggles to avoid elimination in the second set before settling into her usual smooth stroking pattern. Virginia Ruzic turns back a game Susan Rollinson 3-6, 6-4, 6-1. 18-year-old Pam Casal is seeded 5th, but she runs into a case of opening match jitters in a tough 3-setter against 19-year-old Peruvian Pilar Vasquez. Vasquez upsets Pam Casal in yet another early round surprise. Kathy Rinaldi made her professional debut here a year ago. Now she's seeded 2nd.
Well, I think the pros, have taught me a lot. The competition, I think it's made me mentally stronger. And I think I've learned, a great deal from, each match, win or lose.
In an extremely youthful confrontation, 17-year-old Catherine Tanvier of France tests 15-year-old Kathy Rinaldi in the 3rd round. Kathy survives the first set scare to advance 6-4, 6-love. A veteran at 18, Sue Mascarin is next for Kathy Rinaldi.
I was looking forward to coming back this year because I did do well last year. And I really like it here in Indianapolis, and I like clay court. We don't have that many tournaments on clay. So, just going into a tournament, really looking forward to it helps, feeling confident, helps you to play well and do well. Being 18, I feel almost old on the tour, but I don't, I still don't think my game's reached its peak or anything. I have so much room for improvement, and, I think I have a lot of years still ahead of me.
This year, Sue is seeded 13th at the clay courts, and following 3 impressive wins, she's in the quarterfinals and a face-to-face meeting with 2nd-seeded Kathy Rinaldi. In a memorable battle, Kathy Rinaldi and Sue Mascarin give the appreciative Indianapolis Sports Center crowd a treat and a half. Displaying courage, stamina, and pinpoint accuracy, both players refuse to surrender in a grueling 3-hour marathon. Sue Mascarin's moonball tactics keep her alive against the forceful baseline game of Kathy Rinaldi. After splitting the first 2 sets, Kathy is at match point with a 5-4 lead in the final set. This passing shot is the clincher. Game, set, and match to Kathy Rinaldi in a classic contest highlighted by classic sportsmanship. Kathy Rinaldi is in the semifinals against 7th-seeded Helena Sukova of Czechoslovakia. Helena, only 17 years old herself, has won 3 consecutive matches to reach the semis, including a straight sets win over Australian Diane Fromholtz. Helena utilizes drop shot after drop shot, and the tactic wears Kathy down in another long 3-set match. Helena Sukova is in the finals with a 7-5, 4-6, 6-4 triumph over Kathy Rinaldi. 18-year-old Bonnie Gadusek, the number 4 seed, meets Virginia Ruzic in the other semi. The match is all Virginians, and she'll face one more teenager in Helena Sukova.
I'll just take them as a good player and nothing else. And I'm not concerned about their age, and I'm not concerned about my age. What I'm concerned is about playing well.
I played her only in doubles, not in singles. And for tomorrow, well, you know, I'm gonna try to do my best to win that match, you know. And I will see tomorrow how it's gonna be everything.
Welcome to the Sports Center in Indianapolis, Indiana, the site of the 73rd United States Open Clay Court Championships. This is a facility that's been called by many, it seats 10,000 by the way, called by many as the best tennis facility in the country. It certainly affords good views for everyone.
That's the way we welcome the nationwide audience on CBS Sports to the Clay Court Women's Final, as number 1 seed Virginia Ruzic of Romania and 7th seeded Helena Sukova of Czechoslovakia vie for the championship. Helena Sukova holds her serve to begin the match. But then Virginia Ruzic rises to the occasion in convincing fashion. Game 1 is the only time Helena can hold her serve, as Virginia breaks through with amazing consistency, while also winning her service games with relative ease. Virginia Ruzic cruises to a 6-2 opening set margin, displaying top form. Helena Sukova suffers from stage fright in this, the biggest match of her young career. The second set is more of the same, as Helena Sukova simply cannot turn back the tide. Virginia Ruzic is in complete control, and the outcome is never in doubt. At 5-love, Virginia serves for the match. Virginia Ruzic is the 1982 U.S. Open Clay Court champion. The huge crowd salutes her, the scoreboard congratulates her, and to the winner, a $24,000 check presented by J. Richard Zapapis of Elizabeth Arden. Tournament director Stan Moless awards the trophy, and Virginia Ruzic has her first ever U.S. Open Clay Court championship. Virginia looks for another trophy, teaming with Joanne Russell in the doubles final against Catherine Tanvier and Ivana Madruga-Asis of Argentina. In a major surprise, Tanvier and Madruga-Asis combine for a thrilling 7-5, 7-6 victory to claim the doubles title. In a rain-delayed men's doubles final that began before a sellout crowd and is ultimately decided in virtual solitude, the top-seeded duo of Sherwood Stewart and Ferdy Tegan defeat the unseeded team of South African Robbie Venter and American Blaine Willenborn, 6-4, 7-5. In men's singles action, Australia's John Alexander, a semifinalist a year ago, is the initial upset victim, losing to Guy Forget of France in the opening round. In the second round, young Hans Simonsen of Sweden has the number 1 seed, Guillermo Vilas, completely baffled. Simonson's baseline play is a reflection of Vilas. Amazingly, the unseeded 20-year-old Hans Simonsen has Vilas' number on this day. Vilas falls 6-4, 6-1 in an incredible upset.
He was pushing me back all the time. I couldn't take the defensive during the match. That was the thing.
with more confidence.
With the number 1 seed gone, it helps open up the tournament for youngsters like 10th-seeded Jimmy Arias.
I think sometimes the older player gets afraid to lose, but basically they know that all the younger players in the tournament are pros, and they know they're playing another pro, and I don't think they think about the age too much. It's just another match. I'm not used to being seeded in a tournament. This is the first time I've ever been seeded in a big tournament, and I'm really happy about it, and I'm really happy that I made my seeding. I made it to the round I was supposed to make it to.
At 17 years of age, Jimmy Arias is advancing toward his personal goals step by step on the professional ladder.
Last year, my goal was to get into the top 100, and for this year, it was to get into the top 50. So I've made both those. I don't know. I'll have to think of a new one before the end of the year this year.
The number 7 seed, Mel Purcell, an Indianapolis favorite, always looks forward to this tournament, and he too could benefit from Vilas' early exit. Purcell assesses his own game.
My quickness has basically been my strong point of my game ever since I've started playing, and it enables me to run around my backhand a lot, hit a lot of forehands, and I can get to a lot of points and win a lot of cheap points off the slow courts. My first goal is to beat Jimmy Brown tomorrow, but I'm looking forward to my rematch with Clark, and that's my goal. I'm not saying I'm going to beat him, but I'm ready to play him, and I want him to, because it's good to play great players like him, because that gives me great confidence to play well, and hopefully just to, give me confidence for the rest of the summer.
Mel Purcell and 17-year-old Jimmy Brown hook up in the round of 16. In a men's field dominated by foreign stars, Purcell and Brown, along with Jimmy Arias, are the remaining U.S. hopes for the 1982 clay court. Mel Purcell topples Jimmy Brown, and he will get his wish, a rematch with Jose Luis Clerc. Clerc, seated second, is seeking his 3rd consecutive U.S. Open clay court title. Last summer, he won everything in sight. This year, the competition is tougher.
Now I'm feeling like last year, so many confidence. When you won few tournaments, you have more confidence. I'm feeling like last year, but anyway, I think I play pretty good. I think I have a lot of chance.
Mel Purcell would agree that Jose Luis Clerc has a chance. After a promising start, Purcell is caught from behind. Clerc wins in 3 sets, 4-6, 6-4, and 6-4. The youngest man ever to win a Grand Slam event, 17-year-old Mats Wilander of Sweden, won the 1982 French Open on clay and is the number 3 seed here. An easy winner in his first 2 matches, Wilander discovers that Pablo Araya of Peru is extremely persistent down the stretch. Araya takes the first set tiebreaker from the Swedish sensation, and this is match point in a second set tiebreaker. Pablo Araya, the number 12 seed, topples 3rd-seeded Mats Wilander in another tremendous upset in a week filled with humbled favorites and exultant underdogs.
Well, my drop shot, usually it's not that good, I was training the drop shot, actually. I was playing out of my mind in that drop shot. But if I take him into the net, he feels uncomfortable.
Mats Wilander joins Guillermo Vilas along with Peter McNamara, and the numbers 1, 3, and 4 seeds are all out. McNamara was upset by unseeded Angel Jimenez of Spain. But the joyride for Jimenez comes to an abrupt halt as Jimmy Arias outduels Jimenez 6-4, 6-4. 6th-seeded Ecuadorian Andres Gomez rolls into the quarterfinals, but Hans Simonsen, fueled by his upset of Vilas, still has the hot hand. Simonsen knocks off Gomez in straight sets. Momentum can only take you so far. Pablo Araya, fresh from his conquest of Mats Wilander, challenges the number 5 seed in the tournament, Jose Higueras. Jose Higueras runs Pablo Araya all over the court en route to a 6-4, 6-love triumph. In the semifinals, it's number 5, Jose Higueras of Spain versus number 2, Jose Luis Clerc of Argentina. Clerc, the defending champion, is off to a fast start. However, the steady mistake-proof performance of Jose Higueras turns the match his way. Higueras captures the first set 6-3 and reaches match point at 3-5 in the second set. Jose Higueras defeats Jose Luis Clerc to gain the final. One thing is now guaranteed. The Indianapolis clay courts will crown a new champion in 1982. Jose Luis Clerc is dethroned after 2 consecutive titles. The battle for the other finalist berth is a youthful baseline shootout. Hans Simonsen, the 20-year-old Swede, trades punches with a 17-year-old Jimmy Arias of Grand Island, New York. Any venture to the net is punishable by a successful passing shot. Although Simonsen draws first blood, Arias fights back, and the opening set goes to tiebreaker. Set point for Jimmy Arias. Hans Simonsen comes on strong to even the match 6-2. But Jimmy Arias regroups, recaptures the upper hand, and assumes control of the final set. With 10-point accuracy and unerring ground strokes, Jimmy Arias stands at match point. Jimmy Arias will meet Jose Higueras for the U.S. Open Clay Court Championship.
I've never played Jose Higueras, and I don't know really what to expect. I've never played any of these top players really before, and you know, I know he's a really steady player. He doesn't make any mistakes, and I'm going to have to be out there a long time, which I'm not looking forward to.
Well, like I said a lot of times, I was sick for a while after 79. At the end of 79, I get hepatitis, and the last 2 years I have been, you know, feeling very bad physically, and I think this year I'm start feeling again like before.
Long rallies and high-quality tennis are the norm rather than the exception as Higueras and Arias get down to serious business. Arias uses that winner to help even the first set at 3 games apiece. Brilliant short hop drop shot gives Jimmy Arias a 1-game lead and a chance to close out the first set if he can break Jose Higueras. Lady Luck smiles Jimmy Arias' way, and he's at set point at 4-5 add out. After saving 1 set point, Higueras reaches add-in. he's failed to cash in on a golden opportunity. He can't afford to allow a veteran like Jose Higueras any extra lives. Arias serves at 5-5. Higueras breaks Arias and will serve for the set. That ace wins the first set for Jose Higueras. In the second set, Jimmy Arias is broken in the 7th game for the only service interruption of the set. Arias trails 3-5, and if he fails to hold right here, the clay court championship will belong to Jose Higueras. That beautiful drop shot winner helps Arias hold. And now Jose Higueras serves for the set at 5-4. Arias breaks back as Higueras fails to close it out. And the second set is suddenly dead even. Arias serves at 40-15. Arias wins his 3rd game in a row to take a 6-5 lead. He is 1 game away from evening the match. Higueras serves at love 40. Jimmy Arias fights back from the edge of oblivion, and the clay court title will be decided in a 3rd and final set. Serve in commanding fashion through the first 6 games of the decisive set. 29-year-old Jose Higueras, a crafty clay court veteran, has the experience. Jimmy Arias, 1 week shy of his 18th birthday, has the exuberance. The climax of the 1982 clay court championship is high drama. The initial breakthrough goes to Jose Higueras as he establishes a 4-3 lead. Arias must break back, but Higueras serves at add-in. Higueras' passing shot is a winner. Arias is 1 game shy of defeat. Arias serves at 30 all. That forehand is long, and Jimmy Arias faces match point. Jose Higueras is 1 point from his biggest win ever. Jimmy Arias fought back from the brink of defeat earlier, but now he faces an uphill battle of monumental proportions. Higueras captures the 1982 U.S. Clay Courts title and receives a $32,000 first-place check from Frank McKinney of American Fletcher National Bank. Jose Higueras, a deserving champion in the 73rd Annual U.S. Open Clay Court Tournament. The USTA presents the 1983 U.S. Open Clay Court Championships in Indianapolis, Indiana. In the summer of 1983, Indianapolis, Indiana welcomes 216 of the foremost tennis players from 32 countries around the world to the U.S. Open Clay Court Championships. Defending champion and #1 seed Jose Higueras is a highly respected clay court specialist who roams the globe, traveling thousands of miles each year to play and win. Growing up poor in Barcelona, Higueras had worked his way from ball boy to warm-up partner when a tournament player canceled and he was asked to play. He won that tournament and was on the road to the top. The Indianapolis tournament attracts the cream of the clay court artists. This is well-conceived, fun-to-watch ground stroke tennis at its best. It's an international field that blends technique, patience, and desire in pursuit of the clay court crown. The 1983 U.S. Open Clay Court. Indianapolis, the capital of Indiana, is a warm and hospitable town. This is the tournament's 15th anniversary in the city, and Indiana is rooting for its favorite sons and daughters. Todd Witzkin plays well, but falls to France's Terry Tulane. 15-year-old Indianapolis native Sean Foltz makes the second round before losing to Diane Fromholz. And former ball girl Jenny Purdy also wins a match before being beaten by Beth Hurd. Early on, the tournament is studded with upsets. Top-seeded Jose Higueras is supposed to breeze through the draw. But in the second round, 18-year-old Jimmy Brown blows him off the court. When Higueras loses his concentration, Brown wins the match. #2 seed Jose Luis Clerc had won 3 consecutive clay court tournaments. But in the third round against Argentine countryman Roberto Arguello, a sinus infection forces him to retire. Arguello, a qualifier, enters the quarterfinals. 1983 has been a hot year for 15-year-old Carling Bassett. She starred in a movie, signed as a model, and is seeded #7. But in the third round, she is pretty well cooled off by Argentine Ivana Madruga-Osas. Camille Benjamin certainly has an unusual forehand style, but she is stroking the ball well enough to defeat last year's runner-up, #6 seed Helena Suková. Britain's Annabelle Croft is unseeded and ranked 193rd in the world. But glistening with sweat in a hot night match, this Whiteman Cup team member is not letting #2 seed Kathy Rinaldi get off easy.
Well, this tournament's very tough. There's a lot of really good players, so it's going to be very tough. And I think I'll just have to take one match at a time and do as well as I can.
Croft takes the first set 7-5. But the 16-year-old Rinaldi plays it one game at a time and runs out the match 6-3, 6-3. She also defeats Eva Budorova and Manuela Maliva to enter the semifinals. Rinaldi's opponent will be Zina Garrison, who scrambles past Ivana Madruga-Osas in straight sets. Number 1 seed Andrea Temesvari also reaches the semifinals, blasting past Pilar Vasquez, Mima Jasovic, and Kathy Horvath, the only person to defeat Martina Navratilova in 1983. In her half of the draw, Temesvari will play Virginia Ruzic, the defending champion, who beats Beth Herr and Bonnie Gadusek. Indianapolis has been lit up by many brilliant clay court matches, and tribute is paid to former champions Vic Seixas, Althea Gibson, Frank Parker, Alex Olmedo. Indianapolis takes people to heart. Last year it was Mel Purcell.
Indianapolis is so special to me. The people love me. It's a great town, and Stan Molest does a great job. And I just hype out when I get here, when I just see this place, because I told the tournament that I would come back and win it someday. So I think that's my major goal in life right now, is to win this tournament. You can play really a hardcore game on this clay. It's not like the European clay, the red clay, where you can hit the ball all day as hard as you want to, and the ball just keeps standing up, the ball keeps coming back. But here you can play an aggressive game, and you can serve and volley a few times. You don't want to really get in a pattern of serving and volleying, but I think you just basically have to keep the ball in play and wait for your opening.
Purcell defeats Cassio Mata, Diego Perez, and 4th seed Henrik Sundstrom, and heads into the semifinal. Ecuador's Andres Gomez stops Jimmy Brown's string of upsets with his solid game and advances to meet Purcell. Roberto Arguello has to win 4 qualifying matches simply to get into the main draw. But his defeat of Jose Louis Clerc gains him the quarters, where he faces Israel's Shlomo Glickstein. Glickstein needs a tough tiebreaker before ending Arguello's run. Jimmy Arias reached the finals of this tournament a year ago. At the age of 18, he is a world-renowned clay court player, and the 1983 Italian Open champion polishes off Wimbledon finalist Chris Lewis in straight sets. He's still working on his game.
Basically, I've been playing well, and my biggest assets are my forehand and I guess my speed and my fight. The couple things that I do have to work on is my volley and my serve, and you know, we try to work on that every day.
Arias is coached by noted instructor Nick Bollettieri, who uses psychology as much as tennis technique on his student.
You know the way you ended the day yesterday with 15 and 20 forehands? You should try to end that like that every day. I think your dad would agree with that. Jimmy is very casual in practice, and he doesn't like to be told over and over again, now you're doing this and you're doing that. So I've learned to say 1 or 2 things to Jimmy, and it really works out much better because there's not that many things that go wrong. Jimmy is now in the semis, and it boils down to how much Jimmy really wants to win this. And as long as he relaxes and hits his forehand and gets his feet moving, you know, he's going to put a pretty good show on for you.
It is one hot afternoon when Arias and Glickstein meet in the semifinals. Glickstein prefers a hard-court serve and volley game and knows from experience that coming to net against Arias is risky business. The 7th-seeded Israeli has lost to Arias twice before and seems beat in the heat. Coach Bollettieri watches as Arias takes the first set 6-1. His student, with the strong forehand and scampering style, is taking Glickstein apart.
Well, I used to not have any strategy. I would just go out there and try to blast every ball as hard as I can, like I always do. But I changed my game a little bit to where I could play more relaxed most of the time until I had to hit the big shot, and then I would. And that's helped me out a lot because, you know, if you're not too nervous, if you're looking pretty loose out there, if you feel loose, you don't get tired as quick.
It is Glickstein who tires. The heat and Arias have taken it out of him. At 5-3 in the second set, Arias serves for the match. The shot is wide, and Jimmy Arias reaches the finals for the 2nd year running. 3 years ago, as a qualifier, Mel Purcell made the finals. Now he wants it all. His opponent in the semifinals is Andres Gomez. And although they are good friends off the court, the play is intense. Gomez won the 1982 Italian Open, and Purcell was the 1980 Rookie of the Year. And a trip to the finals means prestige and money to both men. But these are friends, and when Gomez's racket goes flying, they both get a kick out of it. Purcell came of age in this tournament in 1980, gaining the much-needed confidence that he could be a world-class player. He has since won 3 Grand Prix titles and a solid world ranking, and he wants to bring it full circle. But Gomez is also a winner, using his powerful forehand to take the first set in a tiebreaker. Gomez, known as Go-Go, has his friend's highest respect.
Go-Go, I think, next to Creek, has the most talent on the circuit. He's a streaky player. He gets a little upset sometimes, and he loses his concentration. I think that's the only way you can beat him, only if he loses his concentration. Other than that, you're going to have to pack your lunch when you go out to play him.
Purcell also has to pack his bags as Gomez takes the second set 6-love and joins Arias in the final. In the women's semifinals, Zina Garrison, seeded number 3, takes on second-seeded Kathy Rinaldi in a battle of teenagers. Rinaldi is a strong backcourt player, and Garrison uses drop shots to frustrate the 16-year-old. A nervous Rinaldi chooses to play it safe, just keeping the ball in the court. But Garrison's strong game forces the issue, and she walks off with the first set 6-1. In the second set, Rinaldi is more aggressive. She forces the play, takes more chances, and the set is close. At the age of 14, Rinaldi was the youngest player ever to turn pro. A semifinalist here last year, she takes a run at Garrison. But the highest-ranking black female player in the world shuts her down. Garrison is playing under more than semifinal stress. Her mother has suffered 2 heart attacks in the past week. Garrison almost withdrew from the tournament. It is a difficult burden, but the 19-year-old product of the Houston, Texas Public Parks program focuses her attention and breaks Rinaldi to win the second set 6-4 and charge into her first big-time final. Andrea Timasvari is the number 1 seed. And in the other semifinal, she is facing Virginia Ruzic, the defending champion. Ruzic, a 28-year-old Romanian, has the consistent ground strokes and patience that mark a clay court champion. But the Hungarian Timasvari uses her heavy topspin to set up a devastating attack. This 17-year-old is cruising past the veteran.
Age doesn't mean anything anymore. I mean, these players are starting to play tournaments and to practice much harder when they are younger than our generation was. And they reach their potential earlier. It doesn't bother me anymore they're 15 or 16 or 30.
Timasvari takes the first set 6-2, and Ruzic is thoroughly stymied. It's an impressive 6-2, 6-2 victory. And Andrea Timasvari lives up to her seeding and heads into the finals. The champion is dethroned, leaving behind to Timasvari the prestige and pressure of being number 1.
I think it's much harder to play in the tournament if you're a first seed. Everybody is going to play their best because they know that they don't have anything to lose.
A major tennis tournament like the U.S. clay courts is a media circus, and all the players must contend with the press parade. It never lets up. Arias and Timasvari are attractive young people and get more than their share of attention. The lights and cameras are ready for action in the nationally televised women's final. At 5 feet 11 inches, Andrea Temesvari puts a lot of power into her serve. It covers the court with agility and grace. After 12 points, she takes the first game. Zina Garrison must find a way to handle Temesvari's power. Faced with a hot forehand, she knocks it right back past her and takes the second game. Serving at 1-all, Temesvari is down a break point. Garrison has the crowd behind her, and they make a real difference as she chases every advantage. Temesvari is broken, and Garrison takes a 2-1 lead. But Garrison is broken right back, and down 2-5, she is faced with a set point. With her good size and punishing two-handed backhand, Temesvari plays a power game. Coached by her father, a former Hungarian Olympic basketball player, she doesn't wait for an opponent's errors. She forces them on attack. The first set belongs to Temesvari. But Zina Garrison is by no means conceding. In the first game of the second set, she matches Temesvari power for power. Garrison wrong foots her opponent and breaks her to take the 1-love lead. But again, Temesvari breaks back. And in the fourth game, leading 2-1, she displays not only her power, but good range and a nice touch for one so young. With a 3-1 advantage, Temesvari again combines force and finesse. Garrison makes one fine save, but can't approach the drop volley. She can feel the match slipping away. At 15-30, Temesvari moves closer to receiving the title. One more point. She has already won the Italian Open and is making her #1 seeding look very good. The ball is long, and for Andrea Temesvari, the pressure is broken.